Right now, someone is carving a pumpkin. They don't know they're lighting a fire that once guided the dead. Every year, millions light candles and laugh at ghosts, believing they're celebrating Halloween. But beneath the laughter hides something older. A night when the world itself was said to breathe in reverse. What if the veil between life and death wasn't a myth, but a memory we've dressed in costumes? Each autumn, as daylight wanes and the air turns sharp, something ancient stirs in us. We decorate with skeletons, carve faces into lanterns, and turn fear into play. Rituals that echo a time when the dark was not entertainment, but reverence. Long before Halloween meant candy and costumes, it marked the turning of the year, the end of harvest, and the beginning of the long sleep. In the old Celtic lands, that night was called Samhain, summer's end. It was not simply a date, it was a crossing, a threshold. As the fires dimmed on October's final night, people believed the barriers between worlds grew thin, and that the dead could walk once more among the living. Samhain was not one fixed ritual, but a hinge in the wheel of time. A night when the Celts saw life and death as two halves of the same breath. What later generations called the Veil captured both their fear and their hope. On the hills of Ireland and Scotland, bonfires blazed. Great communal flames meant to renew the sun's strength for the coming winter. Cattle were driven between twin fires for protection. Food and drink were left for wandering souls and for the Ios Sea, beings both respected and feared, said to dwell beneath the mounds. Some disguised themselves in rough costumes, not to frighten, but to blend in, walking safely among spirits who might mistake them for kin. The world, for one night, was porous. These disguises were part of an ancient conversation between worlds, not born from fear, but from reverence. To the old people, memory itself was sacred. The dead were not gone. They were believed to wait, just beyond the mist. Centuries later, as Christianity spread through Europe, the Church turned its gaze to this liminal season. In 835 CE, All Saints' Day was formally established across the empire, a holy day to honour the faithful departed. But the night before, All Hallows Eve, remained untamed. The bonfires still burned, though their meaning shifted. Where the Celts once called to their ancestors, now bells rang for souls in purgatory. In England and Wales, children carried small soul cakes, knocking on doors to trade a prayer for a treat, a custom called souling. These acts were not remnants of paganism, but of compassion, a way to shepherd every soul through the long night between worlds. But perhaps the Church didn't erase the old ways at all. What if it accidentally preserved them? Hidden inside every prayer, a memory the faithful couldn't quite forget. The need to light fires for the dead. It didn't belong only to the Celts. Across oceans and centuries, other hands reached toward the same horizon. In Japan, during midsummer, the festival of Obon welcomes ancestral spirits home. Families light mukebi, small fires at the door, to guide their loved ones back, and okuribi, farewell flames, to send them safely away. At the festival's end, paper lanterns drift across water, carrying those spirits gently to the other shore. Obon is not a season of fear, but of harmony, a moment when gratitude bridges the living and the dead. And far across the sea, in Mexico, that same truth blooms in colour. During Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, families gather among marigolds, candles, and sugar skulls. They laugh, sing, and remember together, certain that those who've passed are not lost, but present. Remembrance is not mourning, it is continuity. The masks are joyous now, but the intent is ancient, to keep love alive across time. When Irish immigrants crossed the Atlantic, they carried their autumn traditions with them. the bones of Samhain and the soul of All Hallows Eve. The Irish carved turnips with glowing coals. In America, those turnips became pumpkins. The prayers for souls became laughter at doorsteps, and the offerings to wandering spirits transformed into candy passed from hand to hand. Yet even now, in every costume, every flickering light, every quiet porch, something older endures. A collective instinct we can't quite name. Deep down, we remember what this night once meant. We sense, even if we don't say it aloud, that the boundary still breathes with us. Perhaps the veil is not a curtain at all, but the space between heartbeats. The moment when we remember those who came before, and they, for an instant, remember us. Every culture calls it something different. Samhain, Obon, Dia de los Muertos. But the purpose is the same, to honor the unseen connections that make us human. We tell ourselves these rituals are superstition. Yet every year, as the nights grow long and the air grows cold, we light our candles, wear our masks, and for reasons we can't explain, we feel the past looking back. Whether it was Samhain's fire, Obon's lanterns, or the marigolds of the dead, every flame, every mask, every prayer carries the same truth. We are never truly alone in the dark. And if you think the veil only opens once a year, perhaps you've already stepped through it. This has been an entry from the Archive of the Unseen. If it changed how you see Halloween, tell me which tradition surprised you most. More hidden histories awaiting. Until memory calls again.